We're here today for another episode of Drive-By Politics. Today our guest speaker is the Speaker, Jim Tucker, the House Speaker for Louisiana. Today we're going to talk about taxes and the state budget. What's going on down here today? It changes every day, it appears.
Oh yeah, well, we're getting close to the end, so it's a day-by-day situation. Right now I think the best way to describe it is that we're in kind of a philosophical battle between those who want to tax and spend and those who want to shrink the size of government. And the House has historically been more conservative than the Senate, although you have conservative members in the Senate as well. And so we're now trying to work out our differences over HB1 and the other funds bills to try to downsize government and do what we can with what we've got.
I saw the tobacco tax maneuvers yesterday. What's all that about? 2
hours almost on procedures. Republicans tried to kill the tobacco tax procedurally yesterday. We were successful on three of the motions and failed on one. But basically the long and short of it is the bill will be on the calendar for next week. I do not believe it has anywhere near the 70 votes it needs to pass. Republicans this morning in the delegation meeting took a vote and almost everybody was against it. So I don't think it's going anywhere.
That is pretty much a mega tax to be passing on at this point in time in the middle of this economic problems we're having.
It's a problem. It's a big tax, and while a number of constituents don't have a problem with taxing tobacco, it's the bigger question is, do we need the money or should we live within our means? And I think the Republicans are saying we've still got plenty of money. We've had this enormous ramp up in revenues over the last years, particularly since the hurricanes. That's all coming to a slowdown, and we need to live within our means.
I noticed y'all declared unconstitutional that part of the money that the Senate put in the budget. What's the latest on the higher education?
Well, the unconstitutional declaration was mine. The Constitution says revenue raisers have to start on the House side. So the Jackson bill obviously started on the Senate side, didn't meet that test. So I returned it to the calendar ruling that it was unconstitutional. As far as higher education is concerned, we're working in HB1 to try to restore with the monies that we have, some of the cuts that the governor started with in his budget. We were able to do that on the House side. The Senate tied a whole bunch of stuff to contingent appropriations, which probably are not going to happen, and so we're trying to work out those differences to minimize the impact on higher education.
Well, speaking of the governor, what is the game plan on the budget? Are y'all trying to figure out a way to fund higher ed?
Yeah, I mean, the budget, of course, is more than just higher ed, but higher ed is a key component of it, and we're trying to do all we can. We're working with the administration, working with the Senate, trying to figure out where we are on and can come to agreement on HB1 in conference or through the other fund bills. So, the fact of the matter is we have a $1.4 billion shortfall and only $900 million I say only, $900 million in stimulus. It's a lot of money, one-time money. So we have to reduce expenditures, by about $500 million, and we're trying to spread those as best possible in the circumstances.
Well, isn't there a study resolution about cutting certain parts of higher education?
Well, there's several things going on about higher education right now. There are resolutions to look at where we can do things in the current year. I have a bill that's going to create a study commission that's going to bring in people from out of state, particularly with SREB, the Southern Regional Education Commission, and other prominent national folks who know more about education than certainly more than I do, to come in and look at our entire system and make some recommendations on how we can restructure. The problem here is we spend the right amount on higher education now. We're finally at the Southern average, but we're not spending it efficiently. We have way too many four-year schools and not meeting the two-year schools. We're almost upside down from a organizational perspective, say compared to Florida or Georgia or North Carolina, all three of whom have nationally recognized higher education systems. And we want to try to replicate that, but next year is when we're going to be dealing with that. Will be the issue in next year's budget.
Well, very good. Well, thank you for being with us today, Mr. Speaker.
Anytime. Good to see you.